He claims that he made Gunna a star, then called him a rat, dated Mariah the Scientist for years, but remained unfaithful even while incarcerated. Rose in the Atlanta rap game with Future and Lil Baby, and then talked down on them in jail phone calls. And don't even get me started on his past with Rich Gang and how he never got the chance to really make amends with Rich Homie Quan before his untimely passing. Young Thug has remained an influential figure in the modern Atlanta hip-hop scene, but behind the accolades and outlandish outfits is a history of loyalty issues, broken bonds, and controversy. Thug built an empire on loyalty, but now he's torn it all down himself with each leaked jail call. And with the release of his newest track, all of this drama might just be affecting the quality of his music and those around him. Which begs the question, is Young Thug loyal to anyone but himself? Let's talk about it. But first, welcome to the channel. Hey, hi, what's in with it? I'm C, and I do rap and pop culture commentary. So if you're into that, subscribe and hit the like button. Now, it seems we've officially been taken out of the group chat when it comes to these Young Thug jail calls. And I must say, I love the way that it ended with this interview with the Big Bank. It's like watching a tiny piece of old Thugger go away and a new one slowly come out of his cocoon. Honestly, it's crazy to think that the internet has been on his top for weeks. When Thug wasn't using his phone time to talk down on his friends and fellow collaborators, like calling Gucci Mane Saw post-prison, shading Lil Durk and OT up by referring to them as junkies, calling Future a deadbeat father and an idiot, all the while talking down on Drake for not meeting with Biden to get him pardoned, he was out here dissing J. Cole, Andre 3000, and Kendrick Lamar for not putting newer artists on, doing features, or being influential. Which is pretty wild because if you remember, at some point, J. Cole was rumored to serve as the executive producer on Thug's debut studio album, So Much Fun. And he assisted him with the lead single, The London, which was a summer smash hit. Andre 3000 is quite literally an Atlanta legend who has influenced the culture in so many ways, so talking down on him is insane. And as for Kendrick Lamar, many think his lines on Squabble Up and Euphoria foreshadowed what was to come of Thug's fate. Overall, these are three artists that typically keep quiet and mind their business, well, unless provoked. So it's funny to randomly feel a way about them to the point of talking shit. Same with Glorilla, who he called ugly, and she let it be known that he was sliding in them DMs on the low, and even dropped a diss track about him and his boo, Mariah the Scientist, who we all know he spent a lot of time being unfaithful to the point he had to release an apology and include her in his new track, Miss My Dogs. Now, this is like a digital apology that has fans split. Some love this raw, unfiltered Thug, but others not impressed. To me, it gives an old school Young Thug vibe, a nod to the Lil Wayne influence, with the title at least. But the production isn't exactly what I expected. I respect the self-reflection and soulful message, but that's about it. This track feels like the end of the ATL jail call saga. Opinions on his career in music can come later, but if he's smart, he'll make amends with those that he's wronged. Not just to save their relationships, but for the sake of the music. One of his top collaborators is out of the picture, which is Gunna. But he'd do much better reconnecting with the other ones he has shaded, like Quavo, who he recently tweeted some love to. I'm not surprised Thug spent his time talking about everyone while locked up. But what surprised me was how he talked about Lil Baby most of all, someone he seemed loyal to from the very start. In an earlier leaked jail call with 21 Savage, he name-dropped Durk and Lil Baby, saying they jumped the gun on the Gunna disses. Thug and 21 even laughed at Gunna dissing Lil Baby on Bread and Butter, referencing QCP snitching allegations. Thug later tried to save face with a deleted tweet to Lil Baby saying, "Wham, what's understood ain't never got to be explained. I'm with you forever," but it was clear that he had more to apologize for when another leaked audio soon revealed him explaining the Lil Baby and quality control situation to Mariah. Now, in one of my past videos, I chatted about how Quality Control's relationships with their artists have changed over the years, especially after being acquired by South Korean music company HYBE for $300 million back in 2023. This deal in particular was inked with HYBE America CEO Scooter Braun, who recently stepped down as CEO in July, and instead he has a consulting role at the company. Scooter officially became CEO of HYBE America in January of 2023, and by February, the QC deal was sealed, with everyone calling P and Coach K sellouts and wondering what would be the fate of the artists still signed to the label. What Thug said in this call was that Scooter Braun came to Lil Baby with a $150 million offer to buy Baby out of his QC deal. But Baby told Scooter that he would not talk unless P was also there. I guess somebody is loyal. Instead of meeting with Baby, Scooter went directly to P and bought QC without consulting any of the other artists. Thug also seemingly dissed the Migos, saying people were only interested in buying QC the label because of Wham, not the Migos, because they were in the red and not making no money. And if we look at late 2022 to early 2023 at QC, Lil Baby had just dropped It's Only Me to mixed reviews. The City Girls Raw album flopped. Lil Yachty went experimental with Let's Start Here while still building the Concrete Boys, and there was major tension with the Migos before Takeoff passed in 2022. Their last project as a trio was 2021 Culture 3, and Offset sued QC in August of 2022, while Takeoff and Quavo dropped a dual project in October. So yeah, there was a lot going on. No real money was probably being made. Maybe Young Miami wasn't lying when she said on Carisha Please that at some point there was no money to be made in the group. But listen, here's the issue. If Lil Baby is really your homeboy, why spill his business on a jail call? And if you think a music exec like Scooter Braun was going to play it straight with Lil Baby after taking him away from QC, man, watch out. Scooter's history speaks for itself. Discovering Justin Bieber but blocking his creative freedom at some point, buying Taylor Swift's masters, trying to force her into a new deal, and selling her early albums for $405 million. Even though she recently repurchased her masters in May, she'd been fighting for them since 2019. So who knows what kind of contract Lil Baby would have been signing on, or how it would have affected his future. Nonetheless, it seems like Thug discussing Baby in these calls has led to a strained relationship. And you can tell because in his new song, he talks about how Lil Baby has not been answering his calls. It really feels like an attempt to mend fences, or at least address the tension publicly, but on Baby's end, total silence. While 21 Savage and Drake liked the apology post that Young Thug did, Baby hasn't even responded, canceling shows, delaying the leaks, and his label even announcing that he's retiring. Makes you wonder if this Thug drama is impacting his career, but we'll have to wait and see. Another figure tangled in King Spider's web is his girlfriend Mariah the Scientist. And can I just say that when Thug first touched down, I assumed he was going to use some of his time to be Mariah's hype man, like Safari and Nicki Minaj style. After all, this was the same woman who got in a relationship with him only a few months prior to him getting incarcerated and made sure his kids stayed connected with him while he was away. Talk about one of God's strongest soldiers, a real one, as they say. After he was released, we often saw them together at her shows, sharing sweet moments and booed up at the award shows. But there was a noticeable difference. When he wasn't carrying her around like a rag doll at the BET Awards, she looked like a sad arm accessory at NBA games. The internet assumed that she was unhappy or they were just going through the motions like couples do. Now it's all starting to make a little bit more sense. I talked about Mariah's career and her relationship with Young Thug late last year, but people are so focused on these new calls that they forgot about the ones from last year when he was chatting with other girls to pass the time. Bragging on a jail call about hooking up with COs is Wild. And planning kids with another woman? That's crazy. Makes me think back to spring 2024 when she was allegedly caught scrapping with a woman in an ATL lounge. Thug's verse on Lil Baby's Dumb Dumb and Dumber really hits. He says he was having his way while he was locked up the whole time. It's unfortunate for Mariah because her image went from the overly loyal girlfriend to someone who now looks foolish for it. Remember her on Angel Reese's podcast, bragging about holding him down, even saying she was holding him too down. And then Angel and Lotto said, there's no such thing because other girls would kill to be in her spot. But listen, that narrative has aged like milk. Even Glorilla dropped a diss track after Young Thug called her ugly, with Mariah laughing it off. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I immediately thought that maybe Young Thug was feeling low when that leak dropped. Him calling her ugly sounds like it came from a place of hurt or rejection. I guess Glow really do be bumping up in the jails, and not just her music. If anything, I feel like the whole Thug and Glow thing has tarnished Mariah's girl's girl image. How can you be out here hugged up with a chick that you're giggling about with your man? Especially when said man might have just been in her DMs. And I know we all gossip, but listen, our gossip is not getting leaked like this. Despite the internet rooting for her to leave Thug, her loyalty seems stronger than his, and that might keep them together. His heartfelt apology, starting his new track off talking about her, and showing bracelets with her nickname really do hint at that. Not to mention, many have a soft spot for Mariah, and I get it. She's also a victim in the drama, but she's also had the situational awareness to know exactly what she was getting into. Rumors are swirling about a breakup, but I doubt it's over. Now, if she does stay, she should consider releasing more music with him. You might as well capitalize off of this moment. Sad lover girl music is her specialty. It's wild. She's at the peak of her career, yet this drama is overshadowing some of her success. Even with Burning Blue and her new album still doing well. This is the point of her career where she should be soaking up all of the love and enjoying the fruits of her labor. And if we're talking about Thug's career and the state of it, I gotta be real, I think that he has lost a little something musically with being incarcerated. I mean, aside from the whole mental anguish of dealing with the case, not being able to be around people he was once kicking it with for years, having a close friend like Lil Keed pass away, and even the loss of a friendship and a business relationship with Gunna is really enough to affect your musical process, and most importantly, your ego, which is a huge part of being a rapper. When he was first released, his sound was so different, right? Songs like Dumb Dumb and Dumber and even Money on Money gave us a taste of how we thought he would be coming with new music, but the hype has withered away. I mean, where is the new album? It feels like people are even commending his new single to coddle him. They're really giving him the Lil Baby treatment when they should be telling him, listen, there are so many things you can focus on in your music. Your incarceration, redemption, relationship, friendships. We can get a whole new side of Thug because musically, him and Lil Baby are kind of in the same boat. They need to be earning the trust of their fan bases again and get a little truly humbled under God, okay? And the first step could be switching it up. Anyways, how do you feel about Young Thug and the state of his career currently? Do you like Man, I Miss My Dogs? And do you think he can effectively repair the relationships that he's messed up? And what about Gunna? Do you think that an honest apology from Young Thug would make them be cool again? If I was Gunna, listen, if we never speak again,
Whoop-de do.
Okay, Young Thug's loyalty was also kind of a myth to me after his falling out with Rich Homie. And although that's a video for a whole nother time, it always felt kind of weird that he didn't say much when he passed away. I know despite him fighting his case, or did he? Did I miss that? But anyways, everyone's allegiance is set up differently. So let me know your thoughts in the comments.